Good afternoon and welcome to the House of Care virtual fundraiser, our first such event in our history as an organization. My name is Archie Dean and I shall be your MC for this afternoon for this event. I welcome each and every one of you, distinguished guests, patrons, friends, board members, I guess from Sierra Leone, the UK, and here in the United States. We are delighted to have you with us this afternoon. Thank you so very much for giving up your time. And most definitely, we know how time is competed for. So we welcome you to this amazing event, our first fundraiser, as I stated at the outset. Since 2003, God in his infinite goodness has made it possible for the patrons, you who are attending this virtual event this afternoon and perhaps evening in your part of the world, and the board members of this organization to live through time and to provide a stable home for amazing young men, some of whom we've graduated into the world of work and beyond. Just before I continue, I shall at this point invite Mrs. Joy Fraser Amonsu to offer the prayers for this afternoon.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all life and creation, for the grace and abundance of generosity. We thank you for the opportunity to serve and show love and care to those less fortunate than us, especially the young people under the care of House of Care in Sierra Leone. We ask that you bless everyone present today and that may the various activities related to this event be a success. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
And at this point, I think it is most fitting, since one of our members lost his beloved mother this past Tuesday, the 17th of August, Mrs. Marie Atere Roberts. Sammy, we grieve with you and with Noel, Marianne, and Sandra. And we pray that God, in his goodness again, and Christ will receive her in all eternity. May her soul and all the souls of the faithfully departed through the mercy of God rest in peace. Amen. We continue on, and at this point, I'd like to invite our very able chairman, Dr. Ade Thomas. Many of us in Atlanta and perhaps some of us in Sierra Leone know Ade as a dedicated man to good causes. And I invite our very able chairman, Dr. Ade Thomas, to give us the welcome address at this point. Ade?
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jonathan Ade Thomas, and I'm chairman of House of Care in Sierra Leone in the USA. Welcome to our first virtual fundraising event. We would have loved to have this event live with face-to-face interaction, as we have done in the past years, where we can converse, socialize, and have a delicious dinner. But present circumstances have prevented us from doing so. We hope that the coronavirus can disappear by next year so that we can go back to normality. The state of House of Care in Sierra Leone is improving drastically. It has been very challenging to run an orphanage thousands of miles away in Sierra Leone when all of the board members are here in the United States and in the United Kingdom. We have met so many mountains in our path, but with God's help and with your never-ending donations, we continue to climb those mountains and descend safely and successfully. Our mission has always been to engage in charitable and philanthropic acts. that will generate and sustain resources for the provision of foster home, shelter, education, health care, and safety without discrimination based on tribe, religion, or region of origin for a cohort of vulnerable children in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of a Child and the Sierra Leone Child Rights Act of 2007. We upgrade and uphold the quality of life for needy children in Sierra Leone by providing a supportive environment and services that would allow them to develop their potential to the maximum. We are working closely with the House of Caring in the United Kingdom and with a newly formed advisory board in Sierra Leone to accomplish our mission. I am pleased to announce that we've had 6 boys to graduate from high school and 1 boy to enter university pursuing a bachelor's degree in human resource management, with his education being funded by House of Care in Sierra Leone. We also have 3 girls in our outreach program, which is partnered with Women of Wonders in Sierra Leone. These girls are doing exceptionally well, and one of them will be graduating from high school next year and plans to enter university. The construction of a new building at Kisimesmes Freetown will be completed by the end of this year. You will hear more about this in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Your donations today will help us sustain and also increase the number of children cared for by House of Care in Sierra Leone. Without you, we will not be able to do all that we are doing. As our motto says, non sibi sed pro liberis, not for ourselves, but for our children. The needs of our children cannot wait. They are depending on us greatly. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, just a quick reminder here, it's a fundraiser, and I'd like to direct your attention to the various ways by which you might be able to help us out. Our goal is to raise $24,000, and as of this minute, we have raised $3,500, $3,500. We've got $20,000 and $500 to go. And you may be able to help us by contributing through these various ways. You may, if you live in the United States, be able to contribute through PayPal using treasurer at House of Care in Sierra Leone, HOCSL.org. Also, you may donate by Zelle using treasurer at HOCSL.org. You may also use Cash App to this number, 404-401-1918. And it is Dollar General GIPO. And thank you very much. To the others, you may be able to go to our website and you should be able to make a donation there. If you live in the United Kingdom, you may transfer to the UK bank, the House of Care in Sierra Leone, account number 41603958. The sort code is 600104 at NatWest Bank. If you live in Sierra Leone, you may be able to contribute through Orange Money, and the number is 063851141. We thank you for your kind contributions already, and we hope that we'll be able to meet our target here of $24,000, and we have $20,500 to go. As Dr. Thomas said to you, we have graduated 6 amazing young men already, and one of them is at university. It's a challenge to not only run this program, but to make it viable. We could not do it without your help. Your contributions will go towards their books, uniform, shoes, We offer tutorials to them as well, clothing, transportation to and from school, their meals, and the list goes on, medical. And of course, we paid rent before now, but soon our own house will be where they will be lodged. So thank you so very much. At this point, I want to invite our young men, 3 of them, Aya Kuruma, Abdullahi Kuruma, and Mohammed Conte, who will share their experiences with us in a testimonial that they will offer. Thank you.
My name is Aya Kuruma. I'm 21 years old. I'm attending the Sierra Leone International Mission Senior Secondary School. I just sat my WAS exam, but I didn't make my grade, complete my subjects. So I'm about to take the private class to complete my subject, to go to the university. I was in the refugee camp in Grafsin when I lost my both parents in the civil war in Sierra Leone. So I was selected by the camp coordinator to be in the house of caring. Well, since I entered the house of caring, my life has changed because I have my basic needs, going to school. I have my 3 daily meal. I have a comfortable side to live, to stay, and I love my brothers that I met in the house of caring. They too love me too. Well, I want to become a lawyer. I want to become a lawyer to defend people in their cases.
I can see because.
Well, I want to tell the chairman and board of directors. I want to tell them thanks for what they have done for me since when I entered the house of caring. They are my family now because I do not have a father, I don't have a mother. They are my family. I thank them for everything, what they have done for me.
My name is Mohamed Adams Lamindubia. I'm 19 years old now. I find myself in the House of Caring through a lifeline organization that advocates for children. I was 15 years old when I came into the House of Caring. I am attending the Sierra Leone International Senior Secondary School. I am in SS1. I was with my 2 parents. Since the Ebola epidemic came into Sierra Leone, both parents lost their life during the Ebola epidemic virus in Sierra Leone. I find life easier in House of Caring. I have safe and comfortable place to stay, care and control of the staff, group outing, and I like playing with my friends and brothers in the house. My hobbies, I like reading books, playing football, playing brass band, singing, and playing keyboard. I want to become a military officer when I finish my education.
A military officer?
Yes, sir.
Why a military officer?
I want to save my country, guide so many things in my community, and save my family too. I want to say thank you to the chairman and board of directors of House of Caring.
My name is Mohamed Kuruma. I am 19 years old now. I'm attending the Sierra Leone International Mission Secondary School. I am now SS1. When I was living with my parents, we had the Ebola disease in Sierra Leone. Both parents during the Ebola epidemic disease in Sierra Leone, I found myself through Mr. Prince. When I came in the House of Caring, my life changed. I have place to sleep. I feel a comfortable place to stay. Enrollment at school, good health care, clothing, group outing. I have time for play. My hobbies, I like to read in books. Number 1. 2 again, I like to practice my electrical engineer. Those basic to make radio, flashlight. I want to become an electrical engineer because that is my talent.
Okay.
19 years old, sir.
Okay.
I want to say thank you to the chairman and board of directors in Mossack House of Caring.
Thank you for those amazing, uplifting testimonials from those young men. And again, without your time and talent, and definitely the donations that you have offered through time, we would not be able to hear those uplifting stories. We're now going to go over to Fatmata Kamara. Fatmata Kamara is one of 3 girls that we take care of through the outreach program in collaboration with the Women of Wonders organization in Sierra Leone. These girls are placed with families, and the families are supported so they can care for them. You will be in awe at her message to us. Thereafter, it will be followed by a former resident at the boys' house as well. So I invite those 2 to come on now, please.
Hello to you all. My name is Fatmata Kamara. I am an Ebola orphan. I live with my sister and caregiver at Watamu. It was difficult for me and my sister to go back to school after Ebola because of money. But my sister Kadiatu ended up getting a full scholarship by the KO and wow. I was praying for the same opportunity when Sister Josephine, the woman running up the scholarship, told my auntie that the House of Caring want to support me for my education. And I was so happy to receive this contribution towards my education. I am currently in SS3 and preparing for the senior secondary school certificate examination. My dream is to become a lawyer. I am working very hard to pass my exams. My sister and I are the first people in our family history to reach this peak of education.
My name is Mame Conte. I was born at Poloko, Mashimura Chido. I lost my parents during the Civil War in Sierra Leone. They picked me up from Grafton in Police Camp. I was around 9 to 10 years old. My life changed when I came to the home with different things, like of feeding, clothing, shelter, good health care, enrollment to school, having a new family, friends, and the like. I was attending the Sierra Leone International Mission Senior Secondary School. Yeah, I went through the WAS examination, but unfortunately, I did not get my full requirement to enter the university. Well, I like reading, playing football, CS, and listening to me. Well, it was a bit challenging after I left the home, but based on different life challenges, but God willing, God helped me out. I attempted the WAS exam again and made it up to the university. I'm studying human resource management. Well, I would like to say a great thanks to the sponsor of House of Caring and pleading to them for them to continue helping me to finance me for me to complete my studies.
Yeah, I came to understand that when you left home, the House of Caring also sponsor you in paying your college fee. Is that true?
Yes, they pay my fees for this present year 3 that I'm about to take my final exam now. Well, my wish is that for them to continue assist me in paying my fees. I can't say I will pay House of Caring back, okay, but my wish is to pay back to humanity.
In which way?
In which way? The likes of serving the Musa in the House of Caring home again, and different things.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so very much. And like you, I'm in awe at these young men and women. Let's return to Fatmata Kamara for a second. You notice how confident she was, articulate. This young lady, and so you could say for the young men as well, has promise. I just came back from Sierra Leone, having worked with teachers for the past 4 or 5 years, and we did retrain teachers at SLIMS, the Sierra Leone International Mission School. That school is made possible through the donation of folks here in Atlanta and across the United States, you and I. And there's a collaboration going on here where we have a home and then from this home, these young men are able to attend SLIMS, and the campus is absolutely beautiful. And we are assured that, in fact, these young men and women who were very vulnerable have secure homes, and they have 3 square meals each day, and they will be able to pursue their dreams. Like Fatmata Kamara says, she wants to be a lawyer. We pray that, in fact, we'll be able to support and sponsor her through that aspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you an update as to how much we've raised, and this is pretty fluid. At this moment, we have just over $3,700. We've got some ways to go, and I know you will help us in attaining a goal of $24,000. Just before I get to the next item, and you may be able to do that contribution, there is on your screen the various methods by which you'll be able to send us your donation. We are a 501c3 charitable organization here in the United States. We're registered, and in the United Kingdom, the House of Caring is also registered with the Charity Commission for England and Wales. And we are registered in Sierra Leone as well with the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. So I know for the United States donors and those in the UK, you should be able to tax deduct your contributions to us today and any others that you have made in this fiscal year. Just a little bit about the board members. We are dedicated to this cause, and I think you are as well, by virtue of being here and your contributions as well. We come from all fields of work. You have medics, physicians in our ranks. You've got folks who are engineers. We've got a journalist or two. We've got members from the academic world, and so on and so on. What we're trying to do here is to make a difference in a country that is struggling in all spheres. I just came back from Sierra Leone, and that is so true when you take a look at the schooling systems, the healthcare system, and these young men and women could be extremely vulnerable if it were not for the orphanages such as ours in Sierra Leone. So we thank you again. Please consider making a donation, and those places that you can make those donations are shown to you on the screen. Item number 12.
That's where we
are. The introduction of the House of Care story and the update. Samia Terry Roberts, that is where we are exactly. And I want to invite Sami to come on board and give us an update on the story.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on where you're logging in from. My name is Samuel Atere Roberts. I am a board member of the House of Care in Sierra Leone. It is a pleasure for me to present the House of Care in Sierra Leone story, our origin and our future. This is the history of the House of Care in Sierra Leone, thereafter referred to as HOCSL. HOCSL was originally formed in 2003 as a component of Mankind United to Save Africa's Children, MUSAC. In 2010, HOCSL obtained legal status as a separate legal entity from MUSAC and was registered in Georgia as a domestic non-profit organization and with the United States Internal Revenue Services as a charitable and tax-exempt 501c3 organization. In 2019, it dropped MUSAC from its name and became the House of Care in Sierra Leone Incorporated. In 2010, a UK advisory board for HOCSL was inaugurated in the United Kingdom and registered with the Charity Commission for England and Wales in 2018. HOCSL has been registered in Sierra Leone with the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs as a community-based non-governmental organization for a very long time. There are 18 board members in the United States of America and 8 board members in the United Kingdom. These are our 18 board members from the USA and the UK in 2019, just before COVID hit the world in 2020. These are the 4 advisory board members based in Sierra Leone. Our approach to supporting our children at HOCSL involves 4 critical areas. First, food and nutrition. We provide each child 3 meals and safe drinking water daily and monitor each child's growth. Secondly, shelter and care. We provide each child safe, stable, sanitary and comfortable home environment under loving and caring adults. We provide each child adequate, comfortable clothing and bathing and toiletry supplies. Third, child protection. We protect each child from any abuse, neglect, maltreatment, or exploitation. We provide access to legal protection. We recognize each child's rights to freedom and expression. We solicit the opinion of each child in decision-making that affects each child's life. Fourth, health and wellness. We recognize that each child has a right to the highest standard of health. We make every effort to safeguard the physical health of each child. We provide each child access to quality, curative and preventive health care. And finally, we offer each child opportunities to participate in leisure and recreational activities. The current staff at the HOCSL orphanage include the following. The manager is Mr. Tamba Kemechandi. The assistant manager is Mr. Vandi Lahai. And the matron is Ms. Adama Bangura. Current operating expenses total $22,300 per year, and this includes rent, food, salaries, utilities, and other miscellaneous expenses. The HOCSL existing home is a rented building in Kisii at a cost of $5,000 per year, which is approximately 32% of the annual operating budget. The existing furniture has not been replaced since the home was established in 2003, and the location of the existing home is not well secured. As part of a goal to have an orphanage that can be operated sustainably into the future, a new building was donated by Gwinnett Neonatology. The construction of this new sustainable and eco-friendly home was constructed at a total cost of $140,000, including installation of a 6 kilowatt AC solar power system, installation of a DC solar powered refrigerator and freezer, installation of gutters and storage tank for rain harvesting to support non-potable water uses, and installation of a borehole and water filtration system and tank for potable water supply. The furniture for the new building was funded from contributions from board members from the USA and the United Kingdom. Furniture includes beds, mattresses, wardrobes, cabinets, dining tables and chairs, microwave oven, computers, TVs, iron, bedspreads, curtains, pots and plates, and coal pots. The new home with solar power, rain harvesting, and borehole will eliminate rental, water supply, and electricity costs. The HOCSL future building in Kisii is nearly complete with plans to move in before the end of the year. The site was purchased with an existing building on it that included 2 flats which were to be converted into an orphanage. However, this existing building was in such a poor state that it was demolished, and a new building was designed to fit into the available area. The new home has been designed to fulfill HOCSL's aims in creating an environment that is safe, homely, and less institutionalized for the boys to grow up in. There are 5 bedrooms for the boys and 2 for the staff, a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, an office with ancillary shower rooms, toilets and storerooms. There is an outside solar room and generator room. This slide shows the plan of the new home in Kisii. This slide shows pictures of various elevations of the new home in Kisii. The HOCSL home will be powered by 3 sources of energy and was donated by Dr. Leslie Lee. The system includes a 6 kilowatt AC solar power system that will be the primary source of power. Power from local provider EDSA will serve as backup. A 7 kilowatt generator will also be used as backup. The freezer and refrigerator are separately powered by 4 DC solar panels and 4 batteries. The HOCSL borehole and filtration system was donated by Dr. Leslie Lee and includes the following: 1 5,000 liters storage tank for rainwater harvesting, 1 5,000 liters tank for borehole water. Borehole water is pumped, filtered and disinfected using ultraviolet light and chlorine tablets. One video below shows the eureka moment drilling into the aquifer, and that moment felt like finding gold. In Sierra Leone, having water 24/7 is indeed like finding gold. The second video shows pumping from the new borehole well before filtration and disinfection. The third picture shows the tanks for rainwater and borehole water storage. The HOCSL borehole and filter system includes the following: a 42 meters borehole well, a 1.5 horsepower submersible pump, 2 water filters, 1 ultraviolet disinfection system, chlorine tablets for disinfection, and 1 flow meter. The HOCSL building furniture was purchased from funds donated by USA and UK board members. These are pictures from furniture already delivered to the orphanage. The future staff at the HOCSL orphanage include the following: the new manager is Mr. Frank Kalon. The new matron is Miss Kumba Christiana Ingauja. And the new watchman is Mr. Jibrila Alfred. As a result of eliminating the cost for rent, power, and water, some of the future operating expenses have been reduced or eliminated. The goal for this fundraiser is to raise $24,000 to support the new annual operating expenses for the orphanage. Thank you very much for listening, and we look forward to your support. Thank you very much.
The transition from a home that we rented at Wellington to our own premises, which should be ready for occupation at the beginning of 2022. We thank you again for your contributions. I would like to update you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may help us by donating through the various medium that we have now posted to the screen for you to help us out. We have raised, as of this minute, $4,491.60. Please keep those dollars coming in. You may be able to do so if you live in the United Kingdom by through bank transfer, NatWest Bank, and the account number is 41603958. The sort code is 600104. If you live in Sierra Leone through Orange Money, and we have Ramatu Samafona's account to help us with that. Donations by check may be mailed to 1717 North Decatur Road, Unit 19, Atlanta, Georgia 30307. We're close to $5,000, and we would be excited to receive your donations as they come in. We are now going to recognize some of our really dedicated members of the team, not just Dr. Leslie Lee, who is a board member as much as he is also a superb donor to our cause. I'd like to invite Dr. Tuboku Metzger at this point to recognize some of our donors. The recognition will be for Dr. Leslie Lee, and it will also be for Dr. Songo. Dr. Songo will be, who is now deceased, her sister, Mrs. Joy Richards, will be the one that will receive this recognition on her behalf posthumously.
Ladies and gentlemen, since the House of Caring was started in 2003, we have been very, very fortunate to have friends, relatives, and donors like all of you present here today who have supported us to make it successful. Some of you have joined us since we started, and some of you later. You have shared our vision in providing opportunities and a supportive and nurturing environment for orphans and disadvantaged children in Sierra Leone to help them become successful and productive citizens. We thank you for making a difference in the lives of these children, and do hope that you will continue to support us in the future. Today, we will be recognizing 2 outstanding donations. The first recognition is to Dr. Leslie Lee, Dr. Danny Soskin, and to the other doctors and staff of Gwinnett Neonatology PC. Dr. Lee is well known in the Sierra Leone community for his charitable and philanthropic efforts. Dr. Lee is also very particular and like things to be done well, as you can see from the building. He has made certain that there is continuous water and electricity supply. Water and electricity are major challenges in Sierra Leone, like most of the developing countries. Dr. Lee will respond.
Thanks to Dr. Tubako Metzger for those kind words. Eternal gratitude for the wonderful mentorship over the years at the genesis of my academic and professional career. I'm also very grateful to the chairman of the board, Mr. Ade Thomas, and to all the members of the board of directors who have worked with me diligently over the past 2 years to make this project come to fruition. I want to give a loud shout out to my friend, Mr. Samuel Terry Roberts, whose technical knowledge has been quite supportive over the past 40 years, including helping me to buy my first second-hand car in medical school. I want to even further extend my deepest of gratitude to my partner, Dr. Donny Suskin, my professional partner for the past 25 years, as well as all the other doctors and the nurses and the nurse practitioners of Gwinnett Neonatology, who by virtue of the work they do recognize that for the smallest of us and the most vulnerable of us, a change to make the environment we grow up in as ideal as possible can unlock the very best that nature has endowed us. For me, this is not a project of charity. It's not a project of philanthropy. It's not a project of sympathy. It's a project of empathy. Growing up in Sierra Leone, I was only a few degrees away from poverty, from the insecurity of shelter, from the insecurity of not having food, but for the grace of grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, and other friends who chip in to make a village to raise a child. Allow me to paraphrase Matthew 25:40 that says, "Whatever you do for the least of my sisters and brothers, you do for me." Thank you very much.
The second recognition is to the estate and the family of Dr. Rose Songo Williams. Dr. Songo Williams was born in Sierra Leone, studied medicine in England, and then specialized in pediatrics. She practiced in England most of her life, but during that time, she always thought about what she could do to help and support the people of Sierra Leone. At her death, her family and the executors of her estate considered it fitting to make an outstanding donation to the House of Caring in her memory. Her sister, Mrs. Joy Richards, who is also a member of the House of Caring board in England, will respond. Mrs. Joy Richards.
The late Dr. Songo Williams was the eldest of 5 children of Arthur and Annette Songo Williams, born in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, on the 25th of June, 1934. After completing her primary education in Nigeria, she came to Freetown in 1949, continued her secondary education at the Annie Walsh Memorial School till 1954. She obtained a certificate in domestic science, which enabled her to train as a nurse. Rose's main ambition was to become a doctor. In 1959, she traveled to London to pursue her dream. After completing the foundation course, she moved to Bern in Switzerland, where she attained her medical degree. She returned to London to start practicing. She worked in several hospitals in London and later went to Scotland, where she specialized and obtained the fellowship of the Royal College of Physicians. She worked as a consultant pediatrician until her retirement in the year 2009. During her working life, she supported many children concerning charities in the UK, but her main dream was to set up an orphanage in Freetown. She loved and cared for children, especially children with no parents or guardians. Unfortunately, due to health issues, she was unable to pursue this project to fruition. She died on the 3rd of August 2015. I first learned about the House of Care in Sierra Leone when I attended a fundraising quiz night in 2012. I was very impressed with the aspirations and ethos of the charity that I attended this event every year, and in 2016 I joined the board of House of Care in Sierra Leone UK branch. With this in mind, I made recommendations to the executors of Rosie's estate and the rest of the family that a donation should be made to the House of Care in Sierra Leone in UK to honor Rosie's wishes in accordance with her legacy.
Thank you for those two amazing stories about folks who've been extremely instrumental, helpful financially in helping us to sustain our work with the boys and now the girls in the outreach program and in the house at Kisii. At this point, I would like to invite you again to take a look at the various means by which you could help us reach our goal of $24,000. You'll be delighted to know that, in fact, we have struck, we have at this point raised $6,144. We've got some ways to go still. We're asking you to take a look at the possible ways that you could help us out to attain or reach our goal of $24,000. Without you, this new house definitely would not have been possible. Without you, we could not educate the boys at SLIMS, the Sierra Leone International Mission School, provide for their books, uniforms, shoes, clothing, the list goes on. Definitely, we care for them when they're sick and even before they get to that point. We know the pervasive problem of malaria and typhoid in Sierra Leone, and we're constantly dealing with those issues when it comes to the health of the boys and definitely the girls. We ask that you give consideration to making a donation so that we can continue to do this amazing work. At this point, once again, let me see where we are. We're still at $6,144. And we intended for this program to run for an hour. We're almost coming to the close of it. And we're thanking you again for your generous donations that you may have done in the past, but definitely here this afternoon. And we hope that you will give consideration to donating a little bit more today. Please note that, in fact, the fundraising continues after this program. There's a link to the recorded event, and the recorded event will be sent to you, our guest, so that you can encourage your friends, neighbors, perhaps co-workers to help us out in this cause. As we gravitate to the crescendo, the end right here. I'd like to invite a good friend of mine and the chair of the board in the UK, Mr. Ade Darami. Ade is committed to causes such as this one. And for our friends in the UK, you probably know him very well. At this point, inviting Ade Darami to give the vote of thanks.
Archie, thank you for that. And I think the first vote of thanks has to go to you for doing such a wonderful job in marshalling everything today. To the fellow humanitarians who are here, I'd like to say thank you for taking an hour of your time this Sunday to join us. I was hoping we would hit 100 people. We're on 96. Let's hope. And the reason I said fellow humanitarians, of all people, I was watching Rihanna. She had been invited to give a talk at Harvard University. And she said that when she was young, she used to watch adverts about people saying, you know, give 25 cents to help children in Africa. And she said, you know, by the time she was 17, 18, she was able to give millions to help children. And she suddenly realized that, hey, I'm a humanitarian. She said, people overcomplicate this. She said, really, a humanitarian is somebody who does something to change the life for the better of somebody else without expecting anything in return. And when I watched that, it resonated with me. And I thought, you know, all the people who have helped House of Caring over the years, they fall under that bracket. They are humanitarians. And so I'd like to really thank you who are here today, but also the ones who have not been able to join us. And as Archie has said, it doesn't end today. And you know what? We're using technology to do this. And Denzel Georgetown has been an absolute marvel in marshalling this together. We've had 10 or 12 weeks of weekly meetings to try and make sure that everything went through without a hitch. I've been on several, I'm sure several of you have been on several of these where there've been all sorts of technical hitches. Thank God, nothing obstructed us today. But let's keep in mind why we're doing this. We're trying to change the lives of young men and young women. I was quite touched by the ones who mentioned having been at the refugee camp in Grafton. I visited that camp in 2000, and it was depressing actually to see how people were living there. And even more horrifyingly, one day after they had a pump installed, some people came and stole it, physically smashed the concrete that had been built to protect the pump, and it was taken away. And it took another 3 months before they got a replacement pump. So it was not a place that anybody would want to live. And so for people to have lived there and been rescued from there and being given a chance of life, a better life, I honestly have to say a huge thank you to everybody who has contributed and continues to contribute. And also I'd like this message to get out. If you know of friends who you think might be possible contributors, donors, supporters of House of Caring, please tell them. As has been said by many people, this should not and does not end here when we close proceedings today. So tell them about this. And in closing, really, like to thank the members in America, the board members in America, and the board members in the UK. You would have noticed from the photograph that in the UK, I'm the only man. It was all women. And I think that's the only reason they made me chair this time. And also the fact that the US chair is called Ade, and I'm also called Ade. I think they thought there'd be a kind of symmetry if you had two Ades chairing. But really in closing, I'd just like to say thank you for all the support over the years. Keep on supporting us, keep on changing the lives of these young men and women, and give them something to look forward to. And I must not, and I cannot forget the staff who have been as second parents to these young people. They have done an absolutely tremendous job. In fact, I would say they've gone above and beyond the call of duty. They have been proper parents to these young people. And if they're not in this call, I think we should all nonetheless give a round of applause to them and say, you've done a great job, keep doing a great job. And we thank you for the job you've done so far. And from me, in closing, just once again, a big thank you to all of you for taking the time on this Sunday. You could be doing something else, but you chose to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ade. Ladies and gentlemen, at the close of the official segment of this ceremony, please note that in fact, we will stay online so that folks can mix and mingle. You may unmute and perhaps say hi to a friend across the pond. And as Ade said to you, we will keep the link open so that you can make your contributions to this cause. You might have heard the dog in the background nudging all of us to continue to do this good work. There's sense when we're doing good things, our pets. And if you've saved one child off the streets of Sierra Leone, educated one child from the contributions you have made, you have done your bit for mankind. But we cannot stop here. We know that in fact, this is like a drop in the ocean. There are thousands of children on the streets of Freetown, and I must note adults as well, who are homeless. And we know that in fact, we must keep up this fight to educate, this fight to keep people in secure and safe homes, this fight to ensure that our fellow men and women have at least something to eat. And we want to commend all of you again for the contributions you have made to this cause. We know many of you have been contributing for the past 10 or so years. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this contribution, for your work and dedication to this cause. Please be reminded again that in fact you may make your contributions through PayPal, Cash App. You may send your money. And we want to thank, I must say, the contribution from our friend or two in the UK. We received £300 from someone in the UK. We want to thank you for that. There's a $1,300 that just went to Cash App. Again, thank you for that as well. We still are just above $5,000 raised here tonight. And on your screen are the various means by which you can help us out. We want to thank you so very much for devoting time and resources to this cause by attending and joining us this afternoon. We thank all the organizers. We thank Denzel for the splendid job that he did, the hours that he devoted to this work. Sami has devoted countless hours as well. The board members typically give of their time and resources to this cause. We hope to see you again, hopefully in person, when we fundraise here in Atlanta, in London, and hopefully in Freetown. Thank you and good afternoon and good evening, wherever you may be.